Darren, I think the question a lot of people are asking is, if you didn't know, why didn't you know as the coach?
The first I saw of it was on that screen, and I got obviously straight on the walkie-talkie and said something to Peter, and there was a couple of expletives in there, and then I spoke to the players at tea time, and said we'll deal with it at the end of play, which obviously happened through the process.
Darren, did they tell you initially, when you asked them what happened, did they tell you that it was sticky tape?
No.
What did they tell you?
No. The thing is, when they come off the field, we were just talking through the whole process, and tape. We were in and out of the whole situation. Well, I was especially. So, tape, but obviously it's sandpaper.
Sorry, can I just confirm? So, initially they told you it was sandpaper? But then
No, it was tape and then it's sandpaper.
Oh, they changed their story.
Yeah.
Darren, just more broadly, how has this affected you in the past 48 hours?
Hard to describe, Sam, to be perfectly honest. Disappointed, embarrassed, hurt for the game. I worry about the three guys immensely. We love all our players, and they're going through a really tough time as a group, as you'd imagine you would be in this scenario. A lot of things have been said about myself and my family, which is, expected in this time. So it's been really tough for everyone, mate. Everyone involved, including fans and people back home and around the world.
Why do you think that when Cameron stayed in front of the press Saturday evening, that they said it was ticky tape?
I think it was such a quick response straight after the game, and then obviously the investigation brings all that out, and away they go from there.
Darren, the investigation that James has said has identified this as an isolated issue. Are you confident in that? Are you worried that this has happened before?
No, I'm confident that's an isolated issue, and a grave mistake.
What do you base the confidence on? Obviously, you've spoken to the
Just what's been said as a group, that it's never happened before, and speaking to those guys. So, that's all I can say.
I suppose with respect, if you didn't know about it this time and it was happening, how would you know whether it's happened before?
I wouldn't, but I'm pretty confident it hasn't happened before.
So what prompted it? Like, how can, if it's never happened before, how can such a radical plan be?
Yeah, good question. End of the day, it's obviously a discussion point somewhere in the change rooms, and there's been a lot of talk about the Cape Town change rooms, but there's a couple of change rooms, there's a lunch room, there's a viewing room, there's a hallway, and those conversations obviously take place by those three, and then that happens. So again, it's a grave mistake by three young men, and we have to try and win the public back now and play the type of cricket that they expect us to play. We have to obviously look at how we go about that as a coach and support staff and playing group, and make the game better for everyone to play and enjoy watching us play.
Yeah, okay, Darren, with the timeline, so they came up and told you it was taped. They fronted the media 45 minutes after play and said it was taped. Did you know at that point it was sandpaper when they went to the press?
No. That was... So it was just a case of obviously they're working through the issues and it's coming and going. So at the end, they've come out, the truth is in the integrity unit investigation, and it's obviously not ideal.
So you found out then in integrity?
Once all the processes happen, yeah.
Darren, you did an interview at the end of the first test in Durban where you were asked about reverse swing, and the teams on both sides use techniques, and it's up to the ICC to decide if it's legal or not. Can you be more specific about what you meant by that then? Because I think there's been some questions of the ambiguity of that.
Reverse swing obviously plays a big part here in South Africa, not normally, but the way the wickets have been. So making sure you're keeping one side of the ball dry, throwing it into the pitch area, as you guys would know anyway, and making sure the other side scuffs up naturally. and that's how it works. Every side uses that.
So it was about bounce throws which the umpires.
That they certainly keep an eye on that. Yeah.
There's a lot of people pointing at you for how the team conducts itself on the field, because it had been pretty hostile to her up to this point, and you defended it up to this point. It's a cultural issue. Are you confident that you can change the way it's conducted, or do you want to defend yourself against that accusation?
Sorry, go again. Yes. Yeah, sorry.
Are you responsible for the way the Australians have been playing cricket, and can you change it, or do they need to change the coach?
I'm not going to resign, as I said. We need to change how we play, and within that, the boundaries we play. Obviously, previously we've butted heads on the line, but that's not the way to go about us playing cricket moving forward.
So you're confident that you can change as
Yes.
well? Because
Yes.
you were okay with
Yeah,
that, weren't you?
I need to change. Yep.
Chris?
You're obviously pretty emotional, Darren. I mean, what was it like saying goodbye to those guys today?
Extremely difficult. Not just for me, but all the players. To be perfectly honest, when you lose three men in your team that obviously made a mistake, that hurts all of us. They're good young men and they've made a mistake. So saying goodbye to them is always difficult. It's the most difficult part.
Last rule that
Darren, you've got 8 other players in that team who are all tarred with this brush. They're going to be called cheats for the rest of their careers. How significant is that to them, and how upset are they?
As I said, the whole group's upset, mate. And we understand the enormity of it and the public perception. So for us, we've just try to win the fans back over and play the best cricket we possibly can, mate.
How do you get the balance right, Darren, between being a very hard, aggressive, winning team, but not taking it too far? In a practical sense, what do you do?
That's a good question. The thing for me would be if we take a leaf out of someone like, say, New Zealand's book, the way they play, and they respect the opposition, and we do respect the opposition, but we push the boundaries on the ground. So we've got to make sure we're respecting the game, its traditions, and understanding the game holds itself around the world.
Darren, if I could just briefly ask, there have been some reports that David Warner has ostracised himself from the group and some friction between the playing group and Warner. Can you just tell us a bit about what's going on there? What's the feeling in the team towards him?
No, feeling's fine towards David. They're obviously feeling for him, and no such animosity that I know of. So as a group, we're just trying to stick together and actually get it back on track, and look after those three as best we possibly can in this difficult time for them. So yeah, David's obviously feeling like everyone else.
Yeah. What have we lost with Steve Smith as the captain? He had great potential.
Yeah, we've lost a great young man that's again made a mistake. We all love him. I mean, the public love him. At the moment, obviously, it's hard for him and his family. I feel for him. He's going to come back a better person. There's no doubt about that. And to see the hurt in him over the last 3 or 4 days, spending a lot of time with him and just being around him, you just feel for him.
Can I ask one about the test?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Oh.
I thought I banned them, but yeah, that's fine.
You're a soccer reporter.
What's the attitude? What's the message going to the players going into this 4th test? And can you explain why training was cancelled today as well?
Training was cancelled because we're just trying to get through all the issues at the moment, to be perfectly honest. We'll train tomorrow afternoon. Those other guys arrive tonight, so we'll get together and have a chat about the game and get them up as best we can. We know we're not going to be 100% mentally right, but again, we're representing our country and we've got to start the ball rolling by playing the best cricket we possibly can, and that's going to be a challenge for the group, but I'm sure Tim will do a fine job, and they're playing for Australia, so that's important.
I was going to say, with Tim, we've seen this whole tour right from that staircase out. He's been a real leader of the team and made a big difference just in these past couple of days and sort of rallying the guys. How big has he been?
He's been very good as a senior player. Obviously, he's just come back into the side, but he'll do a fine job. And obviously, a player group, we've got to get moving forward and trying to play the type of cricket that everyone would like to come and watch.
And just on the three guys that are coming over, what was the thing about picking those ones? Was it inform and how much impact can they have given such a tight team?
Well, it's going to be tough for them. They're flying tonight, and it's been tough, adjusting the time difference here. But they'll be fine. They're in form, as you said. So we just have to look at the wicket tomorrow and work out what side we go with, and then